Hey guys, it's Archon, and this is Dungeon League. Dungeon League is a multiplayer, competitive dungeon crawler where you face off against your friends in a series of matches, all while killing monsters, buying loot, and leveling up. Honestly, it's such a great idea for a game, I can't believe it hasn't been done before. As of this review, the game just went into early access, and so many of the play modes aren't available yet. When I played with my friend Sean, we could only do the tournament, but it still provided hours of fun. The tournament requires 2 to 4 players, and unfortunately is only local multiplayer for now. Surprise Attack Games, the developers, have said that they are considering adding an online multiplayer if enough people support it, but for now you'll need several USB controllers if you don't want to awkwardly crowd around the keyboard. Once you start the tournament, you'll choose a team. I generally chose Viper, while Sean went with Griffin. You can then choose from a myriad of your typical RPG characters. I tried out the Ranger, Wizard, and Hunter-like classes, while Sean stuck with the Warrior, Reginald. You'll then face off in a series of matches that are random enough that they never really get repetitive. Each match has a different game mode, map, and enemies, which keeps them interesting. I'll quickly go through all the different game types. First of all, my favorite was Deathmatch, and it's exactly what you think it is. It's just 2 teams battling to see who can kill the other team the most. Now, of course, you still have monsters spawning in there, so you have to decide how much you want to avoid and attack the monsters versus trying to hunt out your friends. But basically, you lose a point for dying, you gain a point for killing someone, and I really liked it because it was the one mode where you were fully reliant on the character you were building up and your own skill in the game. The next mode was Witch's Eye. This was a really cool idea for the game. Once the map opens up, you're off to explore the area and try to find the Witch's Eye, which is an item inside of a chest typically, and then as your team is holding on to the Witch's Eye, you get points. And at the end of a certain amount of time, whoever has the most points wins. Now, there was some problems with this mode. I felt like it was largely determined by who could run away from the other team the most, and a lot of times, with just me and Sean playing at least, it was just us running around a pillar over and over again trying to get to the other person, and it felt really bad when you felt like there was nothing you could do to get the Witch's Eye from the other person, but it was still an interesting mode. It was still a lot of fun. The next one is Capture the Flag. Just like traditional Capture the Flag, each team had a flag in their base. You have to run over to it. Once you stand on it, you automatically grab their flag, and then you have to bring it back to your base while keeping the other team from getting your flag to score. And a lot of times this was a little wonky because you'd realize you were really low on health when you're grabbing the flag, and it was more worth it to get yourself killed really quick, go back to full health, and then go grab the flag. But overall, it was a lot of fun. It was just as much fun as any other game with Capture the Flag, and I think it would have been a lot more fun with 4 players, but we only had 2 trying it out. The next one is Obelisk. An obelisk is a control point type map. You have to stand near one of the 3 obelisks to capture it for your team, and once you stand near it long enough, you'll start getting points for each obelisk you have. So the goal, of course, is to have 2 of the 3 obelisks for as much time as possible. Something I didn't realize while playing is you actually have to stand by the obelisk until it lights up completely before you start getting points. You can't do what I did and just stand by it until it's a little bit your color and then move away, because you'll lose, like I did. And the last game mode I have to say was my least favorite. It's called Race. There are 3 flags on the map, numbered 1, 2, and 3, and each player has to run to number 1, then number 2, then number 3 to get a point, and you have a certain amount of time to get as many points as you can. Unfortunately though, you didn't really get to utilize your character that much in this one, and a lot of times it just made sense to run through all the mobs and ignore the other players unless they were low on health. And it was so hectic, and there was so much luck involved as to where your character would spawn in relationship to the first flag or whatever flag you needed at the time, that it just didn't feel good winning or losing. But I think they could improve upon it. It was still so much fun, and all the game matches were so much fun that I can forgive them the race mode. Then after each match, you'll return to a progress screen where you'll gain experience based on your achievements and how many monsters you killed. You'll then get to spend skill points to acquire new skills or level up skills you already have, and spend gold on buying new items. You can only have 2 items equipped at any time, so the more expensive the items are, the more worth it they are, I found at least. And overall, even with 2 players, I had a ton of fun. I could have played all day if my friend Sean didn't have to leave. The game is really well done, has a ton of replay value, and for only $10 on Steam, I think it's easily worth the cost. However, there are a few hang-ups with the game. First of all, the multiplayer. It's really hard to get 4 people playing on the same computer. Most people don't have enough controllers or USB ports to support 4 people playing comfortably. Sean and I hooked up my laptop to the TV in my living room, but otherwise it would have been uncomfortable crowding around a computer. This would, however, be a perfect game once the Steam Link and Steam controller come out, and if they ever release online multiplayer or a console version, it'll be a non-issue. As for the gameplay goes, there were a few balance issues, but it's still early access and all of this could change. There were times in many of the game modes where it was strategic to just kill yourself, either to avoid giving the other team a point or to put yourself in a better situation. This may just be unavoidable given the state of the game, but it didn't feel great. The monsters often had too big of an impact on the outcome of the game. It was hard to tell if it was even worth fighting them at times, and in many cases it made more sense just to run through them and let your opponent deal with them after you died. Class balance also seems off, but honestly, I haven't played long enough to say for sure. I just know that as a wizard, I felt incredibly weak compared to the warrior. Those few hangups aside though, the game is a fantastic indie game that's definitely worth the price. Try it out, or convince your friend to buy it and bring your controller over to their place. You won't regret it. If you've enjoyed this review, please hit that subscribe button to stay updated. I'll have more indie reviews coming soon. See you later.